All right, welcome everyone. So today's topic is on automation and streamlining to improve your business. This is a massive topic, and when I first started preparing for this workshop today, I didn't realize how many elements of stuff that we are doing here that I could take you through. I've adjusted it, and I've done a combination of automation and streamlining because some of the feedback that I got alluded that some other areas that I should really take you through, because a lot of people were wanting a lot more automation around leveraging, around marketing, etc. By the way, I'm Tracy Boyce. I've been a part of these companies for the last 10 years, coming on 20. We've been around that long, which is amazing. And we've just constantly evolved over the time. Now, prior to that, I used to train and coach business coaches. And one of the biggest areas that we worked on with clients is how they can create processes and systems and look at streamlining their business to leverage their time. Because there's a point where you go in a business where, if you're doing everything manual all the time after time, there's a point where you're going to hit that ceiling. So we've got to look at how we can leverage, do ever more with ever less. And so it's such an important topic in business. And it's something that there's some tools and some tricks that we've done along the way that I thought would be really worthwhile passing on to you guys. Now, for those of you that have been to these workshops before, you know that our objective with this is to educate and help you guys grow your business and enjoy working with us. Now, some of you are here under the Bloom Tools brand, under the Snack website brand. We've also got a vet marketing brand and an association membership brand. So if you're under any of those brands, I welcome you and are part of this. Now, like normal, at the end of this event, for those that attend the full session today, we're going to give you a whole range of giveaways. So some handouts of some things that we're going to be taking you through today. And at the end, like most workshops, I've saved my best to last. Now, there's one strategy I'm going to take you through at the end that has just made an incredible difference to myself in my role and eliminated a fair portion of what I do and has enabled me to work on more bigger stuff and enabled me to kind of focus more on how I can grow the business and add more value to clients, like running these workshops. All right, so make sure you stay to the end. So let's get started. So why should you automate or leverage or streamline? Now, look, I'm sure a lot of you have come up with a lot of these things like increase efficiencies. Okay, so it stops the human error if you're automating or creating processes. It enables you to improve delegation. So there's a point where as business owners, as managers, as individuals, you kind of get to a point where you're carrying on too much workload. So by automating or streamlining, it gives you the great opportunity that you can actually delegate and pass on work. Increase revenue. That's a massive, because if you're doing ever more with ever less, means that you can actually achieve more and gain improved productivity as well as revenue. Enhance customer satisfaction. So we're going to be covering a lot on that today. Reduce errors, scalability. Now, this is one of the biggest things, as I said at the beginning, because it stops you reaching that thing, enables you to do ever more with ever less. And another important factor is enabling you to have some reporting and data. And the number one that we all like is save time, so we can work more. Now, the good thing, sorry. So the other thing is there's some myths that you have to be a big company to automate, or you have to be around for a long time. And that's actually not quite true, because a lot of businesses that are starting up have the ability that they can actually create those systems and processes in the early stages. So that enables them that over time they can refine and enables them to grow. Okay. And you don't need a lot of staff. I'm going to take you through a process where you can dump down all your thoughts, and then prioritize, and then just work on one at a time and start working. Now, you're not going to need expensive tools necessary to make this work. And so a lot of the things I'm going to take you through today may be checklists, maybe a spreadsheet, or there's some tools that we use that I'm going to kind of take you briefly through as well. You have to be an organized person to automate. Well, anyone that knows me, I'm far from organized. So it's probably more so for me that's not organized, that wants to drive this and make this happen, because it enables me to, because I work pretty hard and fast to get through a lot more in my day, which is important. I've just taken on a new accounts manager, and she is super organized, but she also loves systems and is putting in place new systems day 2 of her job already. This is human beings. No, it doesn't. And it's one task at a time. All myths. Now, as I said at the beginning about that ceiling, the biggest power of automation and streamlining and processes is the power of leverage. Ever more with ever less. So if you think about it, if you had no leverage, you'd be at a point as your business grows, you're doing the same thing time and time again for a client, say, for example, there's going to be a point where you can't do any more. So the whole point with adding the streamlining, the leverage, and the processes and automation is it takes a little bit of extra effort at the beginning, but then once you've got the system up and going, it means you can do more and more. So what can you automate? Well, look, it's anything that you repeat, that you recur and do on a frequent basis. A good one to start, leave a look at, is the things that you don't enjoy. I'm going to take you through an elimination process that you may identify things that you don't enjoy, and that moves it up the list of what you look at. Anything you need to do, but you're not necessarily doing. So one of the marketing strategies, or there's a couple of marketing strategies I'm going to cover today, there may be something that you're not doing. But hopefully today I will convince you that they are of value, they are going to make you more money, they're going to keep your clients longer, that even though you're not doing it now, by doing it is actually going to reap greater rewards for you. And the one that I'm going to save to the end is, there's something that someone else can do, so it can free up your time to focus on, more business and bigger things. All right. So the questions, once you've dumped down a list of all of the things that you think it could be, the questions you need to do to kind of cull is, is it required? Is it actually adding value to the business? Is it repetitive? Is it going to save me time? Is it going to eliminate errors? Is it scalable? Is it profitable? And will it impact our customer experience? So the big one there is profitable. So a lot of the ones that you're going to be identifying could be that something that is repetitive in the business, it's essential as part of the customer service, but it isn't necessarily profitable, as in generating revenue straight away, but it could impact on the customer's experience, so it makes it more worthwhile. So what areas can you look? So here's some just common things. So you may be customer service, so it may be common inquiries, marketing, sales. There's a whole range of them. So I don't necessarily need to kind of go through it all for you, because basically every aspect of your business you can actually automate. So what you're going to do is have a look at the different areas of your business. You're going to ask those questions about, what's recurring, what's something you may not enjoy, what's something that's coming up with errors, what's something that maybe you should be doing that you're not doing. And then I want you to go through this process and ask this as you go through the list. All right, is it required? If not, eliminate it. There may be things that you are doing on a daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis that is, the phrase challenge the sacred cow. It's something that you've always done, always done in the business, but, is it necessary? So you may be able to eliminate it. Is it repeatable? So obviously that gives you some insight into, look, if you're going to gain leverage, gain value from this whole process, it needs to be something that is repeatable. All right. If not, if it's just a one-time thing, you may look at doing it and documenting it. Is it profitable? Okay. And then if it is, then you're going to streamline it. Sorry, not, you'll streamline it. If it is, you're going to automate it. Okay, because so you can do that time and time again. So some of you I see have been to some of our past workshops, which is great. For those that are in all of the emails that we've been sending out, reminding you about this event, down the bottom, we had the links to our past workshops recordings. Now, the reason why I'm emphasizing that is there's one that we did around AI. And obviously within AI, there is so many different areas that you can automate. So if you're not using AI personally yourself, please, or if you are just starting out, please watch that webinar, okay? That workshop has so many different tips and guides of things you can do to really maximize on AI. So for instance, on this topic, it's things like, you know, if you imagine someone leaves, so I've got a new accounts person manager in today. Now, we had a situation that we didn't have a handover from one person to the other. So when that happens, you know, how do you train them? So now the great thing is with AI, it gives you the ability that you can get your existing person, this is prior to the other person leaving, you get your existing person to start doing some quick Loom recordings. That's a really cheap and efficient tool. Do some Loom recordings in bite-sized chunks of things that they do. And then what you can do with that is you can then, it will then transcribe it, and then you copy that transcription into, say, ChatGPT or whichever AI tool that you're using, and then add a prompt, and that will generate the process for you. So if that all sounds a little bit weird, watch that workshop, because I take you through step by step through the process, and message me or your consultant and get the prompts that we kind of take you through. And there's also some great tips about writing content using AI things. So I'm not going to duplicate what we've covered on there. I'm going to take you through a couple of basic tips that a lot of people aren't actually aware. So you know how you may have emails that you regularly, you know, do. So it may be like a common query. So for us, it may be someone that's changing their bank account, or someone that's wanting to add a new service, or whatever it is. Did you know within your Outlook, or in this case, it's Google Workspace, you have the ability that you can actually create templates within the email program. So what that means is every time, and we've got this set up for our accounts manager, for our project manager, support guy. So every time they have a common question come in, they just basically go to their template, click on that, it populates the email for you, and then you just personalize it. Okay, first great tip. Good tip. If you're not using it, use it. It saves a lot of time. Another thing that we use is a program called Clockify. Thank you. So Clockify is a way for monitoring your team's time. Now, we set this up about 18 months ago. Now, Clockify has so many different features that you can utilize to really help the business. I'll just take you through why we're using it. So we use it to enable us to see some of our part-timers are only working periods of time. And so it provides us timesheets of the hours they're working and what they're working on. It also enables us to understand from a client's perspective. So there's a number of our clients that pay us additional funds to do their digital marketing for them, their SEO for them, content writing, email marketing, etc. for them. And so with every single person here recording their time, we're able to get the system to tell us when we are getting to the point at, and in our case, we've nominated 80% of their time allocated, and it will alert us when they're at that point and also at 100%. So what it enables us to understand is whether we're doing enough time for our clients or if we're going over the time. And then after a period of time, if we kind of, because there's swings and roundabouts, we can get in contact with the clients that may need to move them up to the next plan. Okay, so this tool has provided a really great amount of information. For me as a manager, it enables me to measure the productivity and the amount of billable time that I have per employee. It also enables me in service areas to see where we're at capacity and where we need to take on more people, or when we're dropping down below capacity so we can take on more clients because there's a waiting list for some of our services. So it's a really powerful tool that's provided us a lot of value, and we do it once and it just keeps on giving. Okay, so for instance, another one is if a client is, and this is rare by the way, but if a client has some questions about, you know, what we've been doing over a period of time, and it's escalated to me, I'm able to go through and have a look at the records and give them a good summary of what work we've actually carried out for them. Okay, great tool. Yes, perfect. All right. Now, taking this a step further, now I'm going to take you through some processes that aren't including software. I didn't find the Clockify one too expensive, and the same with this one. So this one is a tool called ClickUp, and I just noticed from the screenshot I grabbed, it says something else, so they've rebranded it. But this is ClickUp. So ClickUp is a way of doing tasks and projects. And it also integrates with Clockify. So it measures all your time and your team's time. But we use this for our additional services like our Google Ads or our social media advertising, our SEO services, our content writing. So any task that we are repeating. So what we've done is gone through that same sort of process. We've interviewed our team of all the steps that they go through, transcribed that, created a list, and then we've kind of gone through and summarized the whole process and then added it into ClickUp and created a template for us. So for example, one of the things is blog writing. So there's a process that we go through, and one of our guests for you today is going to be our process for blog writing. So the process we go through in creating the content, in coming up with the title and all of those steps, plus also the steps of what we need to do in the back end. So it's actually adding more value from an SEO perspective. And then the steps of when we publish it, creating the images, publishing it. And then the great thing about things like blogs is you can repurpose it in other locations, which I'm going to cover with you later. So this is a template. So every time I have an idea of a potential blog, I just add it in, and then my team have the ability to then follow the process. And I know that each time they do it, they're doing all the steps along the way. So it eliminates errors. It saves time. It saves time, people. And I think this is the biggest time waster, is people trying to work out what they need to do. All right. So you can create those templates. Or another example, this workshop. So when we're running these workshops, there's a whole range of things that we're doing. So we're going through the process of now of documenting that and creating templates in the system. So every time we have got a new workshop coming up, we have our pathway backed out from 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week, days prior. and it just automatically happens. So great tool, highly recommend ClickUp. It takes a little bit to kind of get your brain into it. There's other ones, Asana, that are out there, Trello, etc., that do similar things. But it's great because I, as the manager, can see overall how well what everyone's working on, whether they're behind in their tasks, etc. It gives me a dashboard where I can see that. I can also see as a dashboard exactly, the projects of how much, whether they're on time or behind. Yeah, it's just a large range. So ClickUp is something worth looking at. All right. So automating basic response for clients. Now, this is something I'm going to put a bit of time and energy on. So 51% of customers would like a business to be available 24/7. But it's not something that we can do. 75% of online customers expect help within 5 minutes. 66% of adults feel valuing their time is the most important thing that a company can do. So basically what it's saying is people want instant answers. And what we're seeing over time, and then this is through your Google business profile and interactions and communications that our clients are having with their prospects and clients, we are seeing that some of the old traditional way of people interacting is changing over time. So, people used to love coming in the door. Then they love picking up the phone. Then they're into emailing. And now people are liking to chat. But one of the things that we're finding is the FAQ, so frequently asked questions that people run on the page. So 60% of consumers say their go-to channel for simple inquiries is a digital self-tool, FAQs. If I was to look at one business versus another, and I had some questions about a particular type of service, if it was listed on their website, it's actually going to enable me to answer those questions, yes, as well as think more of that company versus, most businesses have, a little short description about their service and really don't really go into any great detail. So, if you had one that had lots of information versus one that is just brief, this one would go up. Plus also it's answering those questions. But we're also seeing a trend now, and I've got some stats on this, where people are actually quite comfortable talking to an AI bot to get some of those answers. Going back to people are really out to source information. And we're seeing that with, Google has understood this as well, where they're trying to answer people's questions. So, how do I give a cat a pill? It pulls content from a site to display. It also gives you variations of, other ways that you could ask that question or other variations on that. Have you seen this before? People also ask. So how do you kind of get into this position? Here's another one, tips for printing business cards. Probably people would ask more things, how do I determine which size I would like for my business card, or what are the different sizes for business cards? Same sort of thing. So the question is, how do you get your business to appear here? Now, it's not a fait accompli that it just in case if you apply the strategy that you'll appear here, but it gives you a higher chance that you can. And wouldn't you want to appear up here? Because it appears at the top of the Google search and you're seen as the leader. And the tool that I alluded to beforehand was frequently asked question. So in this case, on the Snap website site, if you're looking about business cards, it gives you a breakdown of some of the common questions that they have. And then when you click on those arrows, it kind of expands out and gives you more information. Now, the great thing about this tool is the summary that it gives enables someone to quickly scan over all those questions to find the one that they're looking for. Now, the thing that we've done with this tool is added some technology behind the scenes to improve its chance of being picked up by Google. Now, there's a whole algorithm in how you're getting picked up as well, but you've got more of a chance if you're write good FAQs that you can appear there. So we add a technical thing called some schema around the questions, and it's a massively valuable tool, and one when we are monitoring people's traffic on pages, we're seeing more and more people answering, reviewing this process. And the other thing with it is it's about identifying what are those common questions. So here's another client that's got equipment. So they've got it like a generic page. But what we tend to recommend to clients that they actually have it on their different service page, different product pages. Now, we did this one for this client, Troy Lester Tears, and yes, it answers a lot of the common questions that people have, but we've also noticed, because we do some Google advertising for these guys, and we've also noticed that it's reduced the price that they pay for their ads. Because Google has this thing with advertising that it's called the quality score. And they determined that the ad, if it's going to a page that's talking a lot about that particular product and information that they've promoted in the ad, it's going to push you higher, and it's going to give you a higher quality score, which can also sometimes reduce that rate. So it has so much value. So do you think you could have some frequently asked questions on your site? Think about it. You could do one for the overall site. You can do one for your products or services. It's such a great winner. It helps people find the answers that they're after, because we saw the stats. They want instant answers and they're used to using FAQs. It helps you from an SEO perspective. It helps in making you stand out, and also has some other benefits from advertising. All right, so that's that topic. So FAQs, if you want some FAQs added to your site, look, it seriously is a very minimal dollars. Talk to your consultant, message me, and I can organize it for you. We can set that up. And what we will give you is some tips of how to write your FAQs as part of that whole process. All right, perfect. All right, response time statistics. So fast responders went up to 50% of sales more. 82% of consumers will expect a response within 10 minutes. So same sort of things. Chatbots increased sales by an average of 67%, with 26% of all sales starting through a chatbot. So consumers are expecting more and more to experience a chatbot. Now, people in the past, if you've looked at maybe adding a chat widget on your website, have been turned off by a message, but you'd need to monitor that to answer it directly and expediently for the client. Now, with the introduction of AI, is the bots, you can train the bots to answer most of those questions for you. Now, we've been spending a bit of time researching a variety of tools. And the one that we've got running on our knowledge base at the moment, if you haven't seen the knowledge base, it's all in the help center in the back end of your websites. It seems to be the best one, because most AI chatbots, you can only train with your website. Whereas this one, you can train with additional documents and information that you can upload into the chatbot to train it, that it can answer the questions more succinctly. Now, the good thing about the chatbot is you can also have it running on your phone or on your screen as well. So you can see how the chatbot is answering those questions. And it enables you to, fill that gap if there's some things that the chatbot can't answer. So then you can create those documents and information to train the bot. It enables you to understand the language that people are using. So often for most of us in our own industry, we use these common terms that our clients don't use. So it's good to help train us in the words that we could possibly use in our communication online, etc. Because with the chatbot, you've got the ability as they're going through it that they can request that human support. And then it takes you through the process of capturing your details so then the human support can go back to you. Or in our case, in office hours, Brad and the support team are monitoring this. And it just happens that because Brad's got 3 screens. So he's doing his day-to-day on those ones, but on the 3rd screen, he can just see any communication coming through there. And at any stage, he can jump in and take over from the AI bot. So this is something that's available now. If you want to learn more about that, get in contact with us and your consultant, and they can take you through the process. But we've just found it a very valuable tool. Now, the other thing that I alluded to was, fast responders win 50% of the sales. So one of the things is in achieving sales, and this is also part of that graph I showed you, in order for you to scale up and exponentially grow your sales, sometimes you kind of need to add some extra touch points to complement the things that you're doing with people when they're ringing up or getting in contact with you. So we're going to be running a workshop in the coming months, and it's all about how you can create those lead magnets. So if you've appeared in any of our past workshops, I think I've talked about the vet marketing services, where we have a lead magnet, which is download the social calendar for the year, so for vets. And it's come up with all the vet day, the nurse day, the diabetes days, and all of the days throughout the year, which enables people to not have to source that themselves. So that one lead magnet generates between 1 to 3 signups a week. It's amazing. And so from that, we have from 0 database been able to grow our database exponentially and for us to get some kudos and win some business. But what we're adding behind that is some automated touch points that are going to complement the work that the lead magnet's doing to convert more clients. So watch the space for a couple of months' time for us to be doing that workshop, and book yourself in if you want that constant flow of leads coming into your business. All right. So the next section I want to talk about is something like FAQs. FAQs is just getting a phenomenal, great result for clients. And this next topic is probably even more so. And it's about posting regular content on your website. Now, it's really important that you do that because it increases visibility on search engines. So Google, let's talking about Google because it's the main one. Google really likes sites that are regularly updating their content because they want to give their searchers, when they're searching online, take them to sites that is the latest and up to date. They're not going to want to take them to a site that has never been or hasn't been regularly updated. So if you want to move yourself up the rankings, you need to regularly post or write additional content. Now, I've talked to you about before, it also adds value because if I'm looking at 1 or 2 or 3 different businesses to decide which one I'm going to, the one that has more content on it and talks directly to me and adds value to me, I'm going to see as being a better option versus one that just got that scanty little paragraph or 2 paragraphs about what they do. So our technology has grown over time that we're able to not only have content about a particular service, but we can automate any blog posts that relate to that particular topic to appear on that page. A great winner, creates a lot of stickability and adds that value. Provides educational value to your clients. Now, the biggest thing for us, and this is why we've kind of putting so much emphasis on this, there's been so much study done on keeping your clients, retaining your clients for a longer period of time. And it's all about education, showing people that you care. Each of us in our own industry has a lot of knowledge, and a lot of more knowledge than our clients ever get to tap into. So imagine if any of your businesses that you interact with, if they're adding more value, educating you to help you be better, help your business be better, help you as an individual be better, it adds value and makes you build your loyalty with them longer. Engages, retains audiences, generates leads, drives conversion. You know, again, if I was looking at one business versus another one, the one that is providing me value over one that was just straight selling me, which one would you go for? Yes, definitely the one that's adding value. I'm going to cover some how you can leverage your content to use it in a variety of every other places, including your socials and your Google business. All right. So is that something worth kind of value to you? Yes? All right. I should have got you to say yes again, but hopefully you're all nodding and saying yes. So the answer is blogs. Blogs is just a tool, but it's a tool that can add so much more depth to your website. It's a tool, hand on heart, clients that are doing regular blogs, and I'm going to take you through how it's not going to be too hard to do. All right, I'm going to take you through a process that's going to make it easier for you. But clients, hand on heart, that are doing blog for all those reasons here are getting so much value from the little effort that they put in. Now, we've put together a guide, which we're just, don't look at it straight away, we're just working on to improve, but we're creating a guide to take you through the processes of what to do in creating your blog. So how to decide what blogs to write, what is the structure, tips on how to produce it, all right? So we're producing that, and we'll be giving that as a gift to you all, along with the checklist that we use. So I'm going to take you through the first big tip, and it's how you can plan a whole year's content in one session. Would that be of interest to you guys? Yes? All right. So the first step is you've got to identify one of the buckets of content. If you had to come up with 4 to 6 different buckets or categories of content that you could write about that would be of value to your clients, what would they be? Now, let me give you an example. So imagine a personal trainer, okay? And their target market is women and weight loss. So if you were to categorize or clump or come up with buckets of what that content could be, it may be topics around weight loss, fitness and tech, food and nutrition, sleep and recovery, workout routines, metabolic rates for those of us a little bit older. So get the first step. All you've got to do is come up with those categories. Now, this one, I also asked ChatGPT, and this is all the lists that, and this hasn't been edited, that ChatGPT came up with. So you can even ask ChatGPT, and I paid the $20 for the professional license, so it gives me faster content and better content. So this is the answer it came up. What ChatGPT does is enables you to come up with ideas. It facilitates your thoughts. Now, my recommendation is to do your dumping first, then see what ChatGPT comes up with. Because in our instance, for us, whether it's Bloom Tools or Snap Website Center or the vet marketing or association membership marketing, for any of our brands, this is what I came up with as my categories. And then ChatGPT came up with something that was not at all valuable. It was product focused. And your clients are not interested in your products. They want to know different facets of their business. So you guys are coming to these workshops because you want to generate more leads, or you want to convert more leads into clients, or you want to keep your clients stay with you longer, buying more frequently and referring more business your way, or you want to improve your position on Google, or you want to use technology to get better results. So those are the buckets that I came up with. Okay, so focus on your audience, what they want to know versus what you think from your product services perspective. Now, how you come up with these categories, talk to your team. Think about it yourself. I'm sure you'll come up with it if you had to come up with 4 or 6 categories, and then work through it. You could even do a survey to your clients and just ask them, you know, what's the biggest frustration that you have in your business right now? So what we want to do is also get ourselves into a value added perspective that we're kind of adding structure to our business. So if you haven't been to our sites and read all the content, so they're in the blog tool, but they're more guides and tips and advice. They all cover all these topics because my team here has so much knowledge. We need to impart that onto our clients to help them be better. So provide some structure, give some balance to your content so you're not just working on one topic. This whole process speeds up for you because once you've done your bucket list, all right, so your 4 to 6 buckets, you don't have to do it year on year. It's already sorted for you. You know, there may be some things that slip outside the bucket every so often, but there. So step 1, identify your 4 to 6 buckets. Then step 2 is to go through each bucket and then dump down yourself some thoughts of what you think you could put in there. Now, remember, you don't have to come up with things that no one else has ever thought of, because really, in this day and age, 99% of all content's already been thought of. But just think from your business perspective. See, if you're an electrician, you know, it may be some checks that an individual should do to proactively, you know, overcome things happening with their electrical devices or their power, etc. Obviously, it's an industry I don't know that much about, but you would come up with the common 6-10 different things that you wished every client knew, or you wished any friend knew. Because you work in that industry, you know those things. If you get stuck and don't come up with those 6 or 10 things, don't worry, just move on. Now, you can use ChatGPT for this as well. All right, so when should you do this? Do it now. I do this once a year. Same time every year in January when it's a little bit quieter. Every year I plan out my whole year's worth of content. Now, I always add additional blogs and stuff like that along the way, but I've mapped it all out. So I've got that structure, that flow, and I'm constantly adding. All right. So, and another tip is when you do this, I always take myself out of my work environment, out of my home environment. I often go and stay somewhere for a night. For me, it's water. I go to look at the beach or water and I do my planning. All right. So this is a guide that is really worth checking out. It's called the Ask Method, and the guy's Ryan Levesque. And he has come up with this perfect question to ask any client, which really tells you the pain factor. Check them out online, there'll be YouTube videos on them, magical. But the question is, what's the single biggest challenge you have within your business right now, or you having with your weight loss right now? Okay, so you personalize it. I'm going to speed up a bit because we're getting closer to time, and I really want you to hear that number one thing that saved me so much time that we're going to cover at the end. So this is what I've done for the year. So I've come up with my buckets and I've just thrown down a list of everything, and then I've just thrown it into a year. And so all of my base blog articles are covered. I've worked out kind of what different workshops that I'm doing, and then, you know, different offers that we're doing as part of it. So this is my 1-page marketing plan I do every year. It gives me my themes. All right. So next stage, when you're writing your content, and I covered this in the AI workshop, but the highest priority or recommendation is dump your thoughts first. and then use either the back end of your website, the AI Genie that's there, and remember to look for the magic lamp, rub it, and it will expand your content for you, or use ChatGPT. All right, and use the prompt. So get the prompt from the previous workshop. So that is my top recommendation, because more and more people are using AI to produce content. And if you just let ChatGPT, say, for instance, come up with the content and you just use it, all of a sudden, everyone's doing that. There's no new real content out there. What Google is going to be doing more and more is going to be filtering that content out. That got this acronym, which is EAT. Watch my previous workshops, it covers that. You really need to talk from a point of expertise. So that's my top recommendation. Second recommendation, if you're just, I don't know where to start, do a Google search yourself and just see what content comes up, and that may inspire you. Now, you can dump a couple of those articles, or what I can do, I sometimes do, especially for clients when we're writing content for them, is we'll extract, paragraphs or sections out of different blogs, and then we'll throw that into ChatGPT and get it to rewrite the whole blog with our prompt at the top. And then either we or our client will then edit it to add that expertise and, that EAT into it. Or you can ask AI to write it for you. Again, don't recommend it. Then review it. And here a tip, do it in sections. Then I ask it to write the initial introduction, summary, calls to action, and heading, then populate your blog. We've got a whole guide for you to give you as part of your gift for attending. All right, so the next steps: plan, write the blogs, repurpose the blogs. So as I said, the great thing about blogs is it's adding value to your content for your website. From an SEO perspective, from standing out. You can add that to your Google business profile. You can add that to your social medias. You can add that to an email campaign. If it's something of valued content that you've written, push that out to your clients and your prospects in your database. Let them experience that great information that you've produced. There's a whole pile of other things offline, but again, we've got some guides to do that. Right, then the next step is talking about streamlining is schedule it, create that checklist, and use a task tool. So we're going to give you the guide of how we do it. It's a checklist. So as I said, automation can start with just a checklist or a spreadsheet or a program, but we're going to give you a handwritten checklist that you and your team can go through to take you through that. All right, next section. New clients are worth dollars to you, so you need to look after them. Now, we've heard this before. Acquiring new customers often costs you 5 times more than retaining an existing one. Now, this is like an apple a day keeps the doctor away. We've heard this time and time again, but isn't it amazing how many people don't put so much value in getting, once they've got new clients, in making them that whole welcoming experience awesome? There's a 60 to 70% chance of selling to an existing customer. So once you've got a customer, you've got the ability over time, as you add value and they enjoy that experience, that they'll buy more frequently off you. Increasing customer retention by 5%, only 5%, can increase profits from 25 to 95%. 96% of buyers mention customer service as the primary factor behind loyalty. So this is so important that you do something with your new clients to really add value, make that whole experience great. And as we said at the beginning with that graph, we need to use leverage, use something that we can automate to go out to our clients to complement the work that we're doing with them. And so what I'm going to talk to you about now is how you can welcome on board. Now, I know you're going like, oh, there's just so much to do and there's not enough time. Now, this is one of those strategies that you do once. Yes, you review it and, over time, but you do once and it just automatically works for you. And it's email marketing. Now, everyone will say email marketing doesn't work. It's dead. Look, hands down, it's still the #1 marketing strategy for return on investment by far. It's the #1 delivering the best results over everything. Now, the reality, what I'd like to say is don't just do email. Look, you need to have different touches happening in different locations, but email is not dying. It is not dead. Now, the average open rate of an email is between 20 and 30%. Now, the average open rate for email for new clients when they're first coming on board is 50 to 60%. So it's worth it. Now, I want to just really demonstrate this again. So we've got a new vet client that's just coming on board, and she's going like, right, I want to do the social media advertising and the posts, and I want to help improve my ranking on Google, but I've spoken to my team and no one opens emails anymore. We're just not going to bother with that. Now, we have some vet clients that are sending out their emails on a regular basis to their clients, and they're getting that 40 to 50% open rate, which is amazing because the average is between the early 20s is probably the average for a lot of clients. But the reality is that 20%, so say you have a database of 1,000 or 500. So say you have a database of 500 people, that one email that gets sent out, even if it's only opened by 500, 20%, 100 people, and then 10% or 5% then act. That's 5% of business that you didn't have before, and the cost of it is minimal. Email marketing, emails are not dying. They are still delivering results consistently time and time again. So one of the strategies that delivers incredible results for clients is welcoming clients and using email, because what it happens is once you add them to a group in your email marketing system within our system, then you can set it up that after a period of time, you send them this email so in this case, day 0. Welcome, working together, super excited, really appreciate. Day 1. These are the key people in our team. There's their contact details. If you need any help or want some help with your accounts or support, these are the people that you need to talk to. Day 3, one of the things I want to do is give you more help in improving what you're doing. So if we're doing like weight loss, helpful guide, one of the things maybe in your mindset, right? And so we've come up with this great video for you to watch, or this great step-by-step guide or 5-point checklist that can help you keep focused and on target for your weight loss goals. Day 7, send them out a survey. Hey, really appreciate, and look, these are just example dates and example topics. Thank you for your business. I really appreciate if we can get some feedback so we can learn how you're finding the whole experience and if there's anything that we can work on to improve on. And then another helpful guide. And then day 21, you may ask them, hey, you've been doing business with us for a while. Love to get a review from you, etc., etc. Now, obviously, you're doing some physical stuff with clients as well, but imagine if that was automatically happening for you time after time. All right. Other things you can do with email marketing. You can use it, as I said, we're going to do a whole workshop on how you can use it for increasing your conversion of clients. Clients will leave you because they perceive you don't care. So close to 7 out of 10 people will leave you because they perceive you don't care. So the challenge for most of us in business is we can't contact all our clients and past clients all the time. It's not possible, that same graph. But imagine using a tool like email marketing, even if it's only a 20% open rate, it's still touching those people and getting those results and making people care. So even like those open rates, it's someone opening the email, they still see your name coming in time and time again. And if it's a business where someone really respects the service that you provide, they'll open it. So there's some things you can do. You can email them automatically on their anniversaries or on their birthdays. We have in our email system so many different templates that you can use. So you don't even have to start from scratch. You can use these templates. So we'll create a branded template for you. And then you've got these additional templates that you can use to stylize it, along with our free imagery that we've got in our programs for you to use. You can do things like I do in sending invitations for events or newsletters. So our newsletters come out every month or every so often now, and it's about educating our clients. So we're doing so many changes with our software. We want to educate our clients what they are. And we're producing some really great events coming up, so we promote that. And then our blogs, our tips, our guides and resources are so much value. We want to make sure our clients are aware of them. And so we send that out on a regular basis. So those are the touches that you can do. And with email marketing, our database marketing thing, you can do email campaigns that are based on a trigger. So based on as soon as someone joins a group, so as soon as they become a new client, or as based on a date, you know, the date of their anniversary, the date of their birthday. You can schedule them in advance. We've got an accountant that scheduled his in advance for doing reminders for clients for BAS and, you know, all the things that they need to regularly pay through the year. You can send automatic, you can send open. So after a period of time that they resend it, the email campaign to people that haven't opened it. So it gives you another bite of the cherry. You've got contacts, you can do surveys in there. You can even invite people to events, get people to pay if you like, all within our email marketing system. So we've got a special offer for today's event. So we're knocking the price down by half. But we're adding even more value. So we're going to create that branded email for you. We're going to set up the groups and fields to capture all the information that we need to do to make sure that your email marketing system works. We're going to set up your onboarding email sequence for you. And we're going to give you some base templates that you can use just to inspire you to come up with what you want in that. So we're going to set up those triggers for you as part of that service fee and help you train you. So for $350, we're going to give you all of that. And then based on how many contacts, you're going to be charged on a monthly basis for. And this is just something, it's a no-brainer. $22, if you've only got up to 500 contacts, it is not that much money, but it's delivering such a great result. So it's really, really worth it. Now, I promised you at the beginning, and I'm sorry, we're just a little bit over time, but I'm going to take you through the #1 strategy that I've deployed recently that has saved me so much time. It has enabled me to focus on the things that are really important to me in the business. And, you know, I get so booked out with so many things going on. I was just, this is too much. All right. So what did I do? I got an assistant. I got a virtual assistant. Dioza's on this call today. Some of you have probably spoken to her. She has been amazing. Dioza started with me. She's based in the Philippines. And she started with me. We did 20 hours and I was just feeding different things to her just to see what her strengths were. And I'd done that dump at the beginning of all the things that I was doing that I knew that I shouldn't do or I could pass on. And so Dioza, over time, I've trained her in how to do these things. I've set up the processes in ClickUp. I've created check sheets. We've worked together and documenting some processes, regular things of how to do things. And she works with me on the marketing. She helps me get appointments. She makes sure my appointments turn up to my meetings. She's responsible for client happiness. So she's responsible for the clients knowing that we're here and reaching out to them. And we've got so much to give. Does image population, you know, in the back end, you know how you've got all of a sudden all these images, iStock images that you can use in your email campaigns, your blogs, your websites. Dioza's uplifting them all. She's helping me email campaigns out to you, workshop management, operations, emails. There is so much that she's doing. If you're thinking about going down this path, reach out to me. I'm happy to kind of give you some tips of when going down this path. But she has been my right-hand woman. And Diaz has been with me for a short while, but incredibly valuable and a beautiful soul, and it's just been a great winner. All right, so hopefully you got some value out of today. Please take a photo of this survey and complete it. And then once you've completed this survey, we've got all these great tools and gifts to send out your way. So thank you, everyone. I hope you got some value out of today. But honestly, the things that I covered are things that hand on heart are delivering consistently for our clients and seriously worth it. So I really want to help you get better results in your business. All right. Thanks all. Enjoy. And until next workshop.